Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Bass East Basscast. On the phone with us today, we've got probably the hottest fisherman on tour right now. We're just a few tournaments into this 2014 season, and Brett Hite's already won two major events. What's going on, Brett?
Oh, just out here practicing on the St. Johns River, but things have been going real good for me. I'm been very blessed to start out a good season, and just fortunate to be able to do what I love to do for a living.
You won the first FLW event at Okeechobee. Kind of talk to us a little bit about how you did that.
Yeah, for the last 3 or 4 years going to Okeechobee, I've really tried to really figure out the offshore grass pattern and really learn the areas where the grass grows and kind of the key spots where the fish hang out. And in years past, I'd have a real big day one of the days, and then the second day or vice versa, flip-flop, either have a bad first day and have a good second day, and just couldn't put two big stringers together. But there was a lot of things this year at Okeechobee. There wasn't any mats in the area I was fishing, and there was a lot more offshore hydrilla. So that kind of congregated the fish out where I wanted to catch them. The fish I was catching were pre-spawn, post-spawn, and spawning fish. And I really targeted them with chatterbait, with a swimming 4.5-inch swim Cinco, and a swim jig, green pumpkin swim jig, with same kind of Cinco on the back. And then during practice, I found that pattern, or I ran that pattern the first day, and then the second day I went and kind of flipped all of the second day, because I knew in Florida you usually need a backup pattern because the fish are kind of finicky, and they don't always stick to the same game plan, and they don't bite all the same every day. So having those two patterns really is what won the tournament for me. The third day I had to go flip, and to catch 16, 17 pounds, and just having that backup pattern was crucial just to be able to win the tournament.
Well, I've been getting a lot of questions from different guys. The chatterbait's been around for a long time and still catching them. What's your rod and reel setup you use for the chatterbait?
I'm using an Evergreen International rod. It's a rod that Marizo Shimizu and myself helped design specifically for that kind of reaction bait fishing. It's a 7'3" heavy action glass composite rod. That's one of the key deals for the whole thing. Just being able, it's similar to a crankbait, but obviously you want a little bit heavier rod than a crankbait, but you want that fish to be able to when he hits the bait, you don't want the rod to rip it out of its mouth. It's really crucial on being able to land fish. I don't hardly ever lose any fish with that rod. 20-pound FC Sniper fluorocarbon. I always throw it on fluorocarbon. I don't throw it on braid. Along with a 6.2 to 1 Cronarch CI4. The new CI4 is in the reel I've been throwing it with all this year. And that's pretty much set up. Most of the time it's either a 3/8 or a half ounce. Black and blue or green pumpkin are my two colors. I mean, I make it real easy. In my box, I either have black, blue, green pumpkin, or some kind of white color, whether it's white and chartreuse. You don't really need to make it too difficult on yourself on colors.
Gotcha. And moving on to last week in your rookie debut on the Bassmaster Elite Series trail. Man, you blew that thing away. Let's kind of talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, I went in. I came right from Lake Hartwell as the second FLW event. Got sixth there. Obviously made the top 10 cut. Kind of showed up there late. I drove all night. Got there at about 9 o'clock Monday morning, the first day of practice, and really just kind of went out. And the first 2 days of practice were not really good. A lot of guys were up sight fishing, that in the backwaters. Just with the late winter that we've had, the whole lake was a little behind. Water temperature was high 50s, low 60s. And by seeing that, I knew that there was still going to be a big group of pre-spawn fish. And I really, really geared myself that's what I was going to concentrate on going into that tournament. Very seldomly you see major tournament, 4-day tournaments, one sight fishing anymore. Too many people are doing it, and they don't replenish as fast as, pre-spawners. There's ample amount of pre-spawners. They're swimming in and out. So I really look for these areas where the pre-spawners and maybe some post-spawners were moving to and from the canals. The third day is when I actually found those fish about 9 o'clock in the morning, and there was a definite pattern to them. I could look on my Hummingbird with my Lake Master map, and I was fishing main lake stuff. For people that aren't familiar with Lake Seminole, it's what I would call like a river lake. After you get out of the river channel, the navigation buoys, it's very, very flat. So what I was looking for and what I could see on my Lake Master map was I was looking for a bank that looked pretty steep, but it had, I wanted to be in 6 or 8 feet of water within a casting distance of the bank. So much of Lake Seminole, you'll be, 100 yards away from the bank, and it'll be 2 feet of water. So I was looking for that steeper bank, and on where there was a flat that would run out maybe 20 or 30 feet off the bank, maybe 2 foot deep, 2 or 3 feet deep, and then it would break on that flat, to 6 to 8 foot, and on the break was grass and rocks and stuff like that. So I could really go down the lake and almost, visually see the banks that I wanted that I could catch them on, and I could see it on my Lake Master map, which was made running the pattern very easy.
How about as far as lure selection for the Seminole event?
Lure selection, I strictly just used a chatterbait there. I caught every bass on the chatterbait. This week, it's like I said, at Okeechobee, I flipped them. I caught them on a Cinco. I caught them on chatterbait and a swim jig. At Seminole, it was straight chatterbait, 3/8 and a half ounce. Caught them on black and blue. I caught them on green pumpkin. Again, the swim and Cinco was my primary bait. I use a couple different trailers, but swim Cinco is my primary bait. Same rod, same reel, 20-pound sunline, FC Sniper, and just I was targeting. I mean, if I was getting a bite, if I got 8 bites a day, I was going to have between 15 and 20 pounds.
Wow.
I was really targeting the areas where the bigger fish were, and they kept on reloading every day.
Awesome. So now, while you're talking to us, you're practicing for the St. John's. Is a chatterbait going to play into the game there at all?
St. John's is not your standard Florida water. It's different than any place I've ever been. It's all eelgrass. Stereotypically here, the last times that the elites have been here, it's pretty much a sight fishing deal. One of the few tournaments where this tournament is probably going to be one sight fishing. So I actually got one right now. It's a pretty good one too. But it's going to be. It's different. It's tidal. There's a ton of water, but it seems like most everybody fishes kind of on top of each other in a couple different areas. So I'm going into it. I got a lot of confidence. I'm just single fishing. Obviously, probably going to have to do some sight fishing this week. Our conditions are finally. I think I got wet feet from all the rain that we've had the last 2 days. We had a really bad storm the last day at the Seminole. We cut the tournament a little short on that last day. We only got to fish for 5.5 hours, but it seemed to work out pretty good for me. I still caught,
I would say,
26 pounds on that day. So, I'm excited. I got a lot of confidence in what I'm doing. I'm going to get in one area. I'm not going to try to fish the whole St. Johns River. I'm going to get in one area and really put my head down and go fishing. Yesterday I didn't get here till late and it was pouring rain. So, I'm going to get 2 days of practice and, like I said, having confidence and momentum going into one of these big events is huge. It usually does not take gigantic weights here to get a decent check. I really going to concentrate on getting 5 nice bites today and maybe try to get one of those kickers off the bed. There's a lot of fish going to be spawning here this week.
Absolutely. Brett, thanks for taking the time to join us today, and good luck. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.